Peace, y'all. Peace, peace, peace. Make sure you share before you do anything, family. Major live, okay? Major live. Make sure you share, family. All right? Doesn't matter if you know somebody that's doing trust law, moving in equity, consumer law. All right? Everyone needs to understand litigation. Make sure y'all share, because sharing is caring. All right? Happy Monday. All right. Peace and love. Peace, peace, peace. Yes, sir. Ski. All right. Make sure y'all share. Y'all, it's going to be a lot of information in this live. All right. I know a lot of you is going to need this understanding. All right. A lot of y'all are going to need this understanding. A lot of y'all are going to need the overstanding. Okay. All right. For anybody that's following me or has been following me, you understand that we do a 3-wave process. All right. The 3-wave process we do. The first wave is basically us claiming our security interests. All right. Along with the bill of exchange, along with the tender of payment, conditional acceptance. All right. Second wave. All right. That's our opportunity to cure. That's our follow-up notices. OK. Our third wave, that is our default judgment. That's our 72-hour notice to litigate. All right. After we do those 3 waves, okay, after we do those 3 waves, we must understand now we have to transfer that into a public administrative process. All right. A lot of people talks about, well, you only got to do this. You don't even have to worry about suing. Family, stop listening to these people. OK, please stop listening to any people that's telling y'all you do not need to litigate. Anybody that is teaching y'all a process and at the same time is not telling y'all how to litigate or even how to build, okay, an investigation. All right. You are going to hit a brick wall. You're going to hit a dead end. All right. Because what you're doing is basically compiling all the private understanding, but you don't understand the public side. All right. You don't understand the public side. There's so many people that's literally living the life of, well, I don't want to be in the public. OK, my friend, there's still a public debt. You still have to satisfy the books on the public side and satisfy the books on the private side. All right. And once you do everything, and if a corporation dishonors, which is going to happen 99.99% of the time, all right, you have to know how to enforce. And that's why a lot of you has not gotten to a certain level, because you honestly think it's like some fairy tale thinking is, I'm just going to send this out. I'm going to send this. A lot of people say this. I'm moving to equity. I don't have to do that. What do you mean you don't have to do it? You don't have to do what? You don't got to do what? All right, because I don't know who's telling y'all every process is just guaranteed with no pushback. Every single process has pushback. All right, I'm willing to say 100% of the time you are going to receive pushback. Now, what does pushback look like? Pushback may look like them not responding. Pushback may look like them saying, hey, we don't understand this. All right, anything that's outside of a yes is pushback. All right. And we have to understand that our word is our bond. So once we say something, once we say, hey, I'm coming forth to claim the security interests on the account. All right. Let's say they ignore us or they say, no, we don't do that. All right. What's next? We have to then escalate. A lot of people do not know how to escalate. All right. I see the issues. I see the problems. All right. I used to do the same thing. You do a lot of barking, but no bite. All right, you're saying all this, it's mine. Well, prove it. A lot of you people can't prove anything. All right, if you was in front of a judge right now, you would fold and you were quick to blame it on somebody that taught you. All right, how did I learn what I learned right now? Well, as far as court, I didn't take no court classes. Wasn't nobody talking about court. Was nobody talking about court, family? It was nobody teaching people how to build a lawsuit. All right. You had people that saying, hey, you just got to do this. If you know, you know. Once you know yourself, you don't have to. You know what I'm saying? Like, which is it's understandable. But tell a person to go read their rules and procedures in their state. OK, because every time this happens. All right. Every time you get into a situation of pushback. All right. Most people get discouraged. Most people start getting emotional. All right. And that's not the time to be emotional. That's the time to literally compile all that evidence that they're sending you and create a public claim. All right. It doesn't even matter if you're dealing with trust. Why y'all think they have trust laws? All right. All laws are meant to be broken, meaning if somebody breaks your trust rights, you have to litigate. You see what I'm saying? All right. Yeah, you can blame me all day, but if anybody that's blaming me, that shows their capacity. Like, I'm a grown man. All right, I've never blamed nothing on anyone, especially during this journey. So I don't really understand when people say, "Well, I blame these gurus out here." Like, how can you possibly say to anyone? You know what I'm saying? That's for anybody. How can someone say, "Well, it's these gurus' fault"? Like, don't that sound like kids? Like, it wasn't me, it was the gurus. The gurus told me to do this. So the gurus didn't tell you to go read. All right. The guru didn't tell you to go read your rules and regulations. But they didn't go over with you personally. So you feel like you see what I'm saying? A lot of people may feel like that. Okay. But I can honestly say I never once felt like that. I never blamed nothing. Well, my current position on anyone. It was always, okay, I don't know enough. Let me keep reading. And as I kept reading, I started to experience more. As I started to experience more, all right, I started to literally sharpen my arm. All right. When I started losing more, I started learning more. All right. That might go over a lot of y'all heads. When I started losing more, I started learning more. All right. Because there are lessons in all losses. You don't learn anything when you win because you think you did everything right. Okay. I remember my first results is really because the corporation folded. They didn't even push back. All right. This is the apartment I had in South Carolina way before I even moved to Florida. All right. Literally, I did my process. They just didn't say anything. All right. So in my mind, okay, yeah, I got them. So when then I literally moved to Florida and tried to do the same thing. No, Florida, they responded back to me. You see what I'm saying? So in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, I did everything right. Meaning I didn't learn anything from the win. I learned more from the loss. All right. I learned how to, motion. I learned how to answer. All right. I remember one of the first things I did wrong. I remember the corporation asked me, did I pay rent? Something like that. It was in the court. And then I said something that had nothing to do with what they was asking. And I remember them doing the strike defendant's answer. It was the first time I ever seen that motion. It was like motion to strike defendant's answer. I'm like, what? I took that like fighting words. I'm like, what did they just say? Strike? And literally the judge said motion granted, meaning they strike down my answer because my answer had nothing to do with what they was asking me. All right. And I remember I tried to take a piece out of their playbook and try to do that for another case. I tried to do the same thing, like strike defendant answer, but I did it in the wrong situation. So my strike defendant answer got denied. All right. So this was me learning as I was going. You know what I'm saying? Like it was, and the only way you can learn, nobody can teach you how to maneuver when you get in court. Of course, we can go prep. But when you get in there, family, it's going to be like you have to go as it comes to you. It ain't gonna be, well, Mansa didn't tell me they was gonna ask me this. My friend, you're in Alabama. I've never been to Alabama. All right. Or vice versa. All right. Like you got to remember, you're in your state and you have to understand how to move in your state. When we get on here and teach, we're literally talking to 50 states, people that live in 50 different states. So Lucy that live in California might not have the same rules and regulations as Timothy that stays in New Jersey. You see what I'm saying? And we have to understand that, all right? Just because we all send the same documentation in does not mean we're going to get the same avenue, if that makes sense. All right. That's why I've been trying to teach a formula. When you stick to the formula, it doesn't matter which road you go down, you're good because you have a formula. The formula is a 3-wave process. All right. And after the 3-wave process, after we do our private administrative process, we're literally taking that to the public and going to tell someone so the world can see what we're going through. When you try to keep everything private, a lot of people are trying to teach y'all to don't go public, don't go, man, stop listening to these people, family. All right. You have to know the public side and you have to know the private side. There's two sides of the counter. There's two sides of the accounting book. All right. Bookkeeping. All right. To tell yourself I'm only going to be private, you're literally cutting one hand off. And that's why most people that only say I'm private don't have no results. All right. And if you really listen to them, all right, they're on a one-way road to nowhere. Okay, that's really what it is. Just like somebody that just knows public, they're on a one-way road to nowhere. You have to know both hands, left hand, right hand. You got to be able to put them up. All right, you got to be able to bob and weave. All right, you can't bob, weave with one. Who y'all think y'all is? That kid that play ball named Hansel? He is a monster. Okay, what's his name? The dude that got the one arm. I'm talking about. He be punishing y'all. All right, that's a rarity. Okay, that is a rarity. When you play the game of basketball, it's way better to have two arms. Now, he's doing some amazing things. All right. But again, in this field, meaning contractual understanding, you have to know the public side. You have to know the private side. Okay. The public side is the public debt. The private is the private credit. You have to bring them together. All right. To set off the account. Okay. So that's what it is, all right? It's not really too much rocket science. We make it rocket science when we're going off of what everyone is telling us. I stopped listening to humans, all right? I stopped listening to humans, all right? Even myself, all right? I'm telling y'all, yo, don't be listening to humans. Go see for yourself. Go lose. Some of y'all are sitting on research for 15 years and you have not lost yet, meaning you have not even put nothing together to lose. And if you have lost, why haven't you learned from that? Most people, they lose and they say, oh my God, that didn't work. They go try something new. All right, no, let's try to fix what we were trying to do. All right, because the court is going to tell you, hey, case dismissed for lack of jurisdiction or case dismissed for such and such. Okay. All right, so understand now, when we do our full three-wave process, remember we're claiming the security interest. All right. All right. When we're coming forth to claim the security interest, if they do not apply the security interest to the account family, that is dishonor. All right. Now, you definitely want a fee schedule when you are sending out documentations. All right. I know I haven't mentioned that or anything like that. All right. But especially if you're operating through a trust, because if I got a trust fee schedule, all right, and I have in that fee schedule that, hey, it's $500K. All right. Y'all hear me clearly because I'm not poor. It's $500,000 per dishonor. So if I'm sending you 3 tender of payments, meaning my first wave is going to have the tender of payment. If you deny that or dishonor that, I'm going to send you a second wave, meaning I'm going to add the tender of payment I sent the first time. So again, with my schedule fee, if you deny my stuff 3 times, I can hit you $500K times 3, apply with my trust documents. All right. Apply it with my claim to security interest. All right. Now that way, of course, they're going to ignore it, say, man, we ain't worried about this dude. All right. So now I'm building the case. I'm compiling all evidence. So by the time we get to my default judgment, I give them that last 72 hours to respond. If they don't respond, now I can take all that and go file a claim. I can file trust fraud. I can file breach of fiduciary duties. I can file security fraud. I can file unjust enrichment. Okay. And then I'm going to compile all my fee schedule. All right. I'm going to add that in there as well. That way. All right. When the case gets rolling after I submit the case and then, I get my case number. All right. And then the corporation that I'm filing these claims on, that's when they start responding, family. A lot of y'all aren't getting responded for because you haven't got to that part. All right. And to be honest with you, I wouldn't respond to you either because you don't know what you're doing. Why would they respond to you? You don't even know how to build a case. It's almost like somebody is stealing all your stuff and you don't know how to simply call 911. All right. And I'm saying it's simple in this manner, but that's basically what's happening. All right. So understanding that now we're in court. All right. Now I got my fee schedule. Remember, any type of interference with trust business, my schedule fee, all right, is $2 million. Okay. All right. Mine's is $2 million. My schedule fee is $2 million. Why? Because I'm not poor. All right. And plus 25,000 ain't going to do nothing anyway. So I'm telling y'all to kind of put some value on yourself. Okay. All right. Now, I have my whole total fee schedule. Let's say from that fee schedule, I total $8 million. All right. Now I'm adding $8 million to my damages. You see what I'm saying? Now it's going to work hand in hand because I already put my fee schedule with my case. You see what I'm saying? You have to show that you're already properly prepared to prevent a piss poor performance. You have to understand this, family. Okay? All right? You got to understand this. All right? No, family, they're losing because they don't know what's going on. Look, there goes somebody else. Just go through the back door. Just go through bankruptcy. You don't got to deal with those lower courts. There you go. You know what I'm saying? Even if I go through the back door, family, what happens when they dishonor? You still have to litigate. No matter if you're lower court, higher court, top court, low court. All right? In court, out court. All right? You got to know how to litigate. It doesn't matter. Like, we did not say which to go to, family. You know how many people in bankruptcy right now and don't understand how to get their shit out of bankruptcy? All right? So that's not the answer, my guy. All right? That's not the answer. Okay? We have to understand how to litigate. We need the full process. All right? Why not learn the lower courts? Why not learn the lower courts and the higher courts? Why not learn them? Instead of saying, wait, you don't got to do that, because that's what these teachers are telling y'all. They're telling y'all, hey, you don't got to worry about that. We don't do that. We act like they uppity, bougie folks or something like that. They ain't got no results. You see what I'm saying? Learn the lower court so you can learn the higher court. All right, if I lose in lower court, I can appeal, and it's going to go to the higher court for them to review. What are y'all talking? That's what I'm saying. Like, people just be talking. They just talk. And that's why we trying to tell y'all, when you actually go lose, you don't have to listen to people. You don't have to listen to me. You go see for yourself. But when you don't do that, you have to sit behind the screen and say, oh, okay. Oh my God, they sound good. After my screen go off, y'all go click on somebody else's page. Oh my God, that makes perfect sense. Oh my gosh. Y'all go click on somebody else's page. Oh my gosh, my mind is blown. Oh my gosh, this is the way. I've never heard no one break it down like this. It's y'all fault. Okay? It's you people fault. Okay? It's you people fault. Okay? If you got results, keep your results to yourself, family. We trying to build a process here. All right? We want folks to understand the totality. All right? Not just one part. All right? They're going to know lower court, higher court, equity court, okay? Bankruptcy court, probate. All right? They're going to learn all this. All right? Because when you understand, when you have an irrevocable trust, all right, and you're dealing with probate, all you got to do is enforce the irrevocable trust. Irrevocable assets is not supposed to be in probate. All right. Now, if it's revocable, it can be in probate. All right. The trust that we're doing for our followers. All right. We're recommending them to do an irrevocable trust. All right. Why? All right. So again, to each his own. People might say, other things. All right. But when we have an irrevocable trust, it's permanent. All right. It's permanent, meaning now when you start to put assets in there, all right, it can't be changed, meaning a creditor or a quote unquote creditor or a financial institution cannot come put it in probate because it's in an irrevocable trust. All right. So when people understand this, now I got a lot of people that say, well, when you're dealing with trust, we don't sue in trust. You don't. Well, why do they have trust law? You see how it's easy to break somebody down. Why would they have trust law if you don't have to litigate if you have a trust? I know someone that lost their house that was under a trust. Why did they lose their house? Because it was under trust? Because they didn't know how to litigate. All right. So again, I know people that have UCCs that literally lose things because why? It's not because they didn't do their UCC right, because they didn't litigate. Now you sitting there with something that was stamped from the state telling you you're the secure party, but your car ain't outside. All right. You ain't sitting in your house. All right. Now you trying to figure out what is the issue. Oh my gosh, they're in cahoots. No, it's not no cahoots. You don't know how to litigate. You literally got the stamp from the state. Okay, now go press the issue. A lot of y'all really don't know how to press issues. You know why? And I'm not here to demean anyone. I'm here to bring realization. A lot of y'all are softies. A lot of y'all are softies. Okay? Somebody can literally come take something. A lot of y'all been getting things taken from you for quite some time. You're not going to do anything about it. You might just call somebody and say, hey, man, I can't believe these motherfuckers. All right, but you're not really going to press the issue. All right? You got some people that going to press the issue. That'll pop up to your front door. All right? That'll pop up to your job. All right? Those type of people are perfect for this journey. But the only thing with those type of people, they're also very emotional. All right, so learning this is kind of hard, but if y'all could take that characteristic from them, all right, meaning press the issue, you will see what type of doors open up. All right, because when you don't press the issue, be myself as well. All right, if I don't stay on top of an account and I don't press the issue, yo, they ignore me. All right, no one is an exception. All right, everyone gets treated the same. If you do not press the issue, all right, the issue does not get pressed. If the issue don't get pressed, there is no resolution. There is no results. Okay? So when you understand this, all right, you got to get some grit and grind about yourself. All right? I'm not telling you to get angry at them. Get angry at yourself for being so damn soft. Okay? Sometimes you got to look in the mirror and say, you know what? I'm tired of being soft. I know sometimes you got to do it. Now, I didn't have to do this. All right? But I do understand some people got to talk to themselves. You got to get in that mirror and say, Susie, okay, you're not soft. All right, I'm acting like I'm Susie looking at myself. All right, you're not soft. You can do this. Anybody mess with you, you beat their ass. All right, sometimes you got to throw some cuss words in there. I know some of y'all trying to take the politically correct. Sometimes you got to look yourself in the mirror and say, tighten the fuck up. Okay, sometimes you got to do it. All right, you got to do it. Because a lot of y'all is soft. You've never had no one talk, because if somebody else talk to you like that, you get all soft. Oh my gosh. So get in the mirror and talk to yourself like that. All right? Let's go, man. All right? Tighten up. Tighten up, Phil. Stop being a pussy, Phil. Sometimes you got to tell yourself this. All right? You know, some of y'all like, man, I ain't know. Yes, you are. Yes, you are, because you're not going claiming your security interest. And if you did go claim your security interest, you're too much of a P, all right, to go litigate. What you going to do is say, oh, my gosh, what am I going to do now? Let me go hop into somebody's inbox and give them a damn sob story. You see what I'm saying? P, okay? You're a P. All right? I was a P once, all right, when I didn't know how to litigate, but I knew how to bark. I didn't know how to bite. All right. I knew how to bark, but I didn't know how to bite. All right. And what I mean by that is I can tell them all day, I'm going to sue you. You better do this or I'm bringing the Federal Reserve. I'm bringing the house down. I'm suing everybody's mama and daddy. Y'all be hearing them people that be saying all that and don't do a damn thing. And then when I learned, like, damn, I don't even got to say all that. Man, do your performance. Man, bosses don't got to do all this damn announcing. I know my rights. You've never heard a billionaire say, I'm a billionaire. Never. You know what I'm saying? You just know when they pulling up in caravans, okay? And like multiple cars, bodyguard, like, who is this? You don't got to ask no questions. You instantly just move your ass out the way. All right? Same thing with this process. All right? You don't got to keep announcing things. All right, just do it. Just do it. Give them a notice. Let them know, hey, I'm going to do this. But make sure you do what you say you're going to do. Because if you don't, it looks like a weakness in your armor. All right? I can honestly say that for myself. Like literally a situation where I was on their ass. I'm talking about on them. And then I got distracted with other things. All right, literally took my foot off the pedal. Does that mean I got to start over? No. All right, no. That means I really have to litigate now because they're not going to take me serious, clearly. I've given them more than 40 days, all right, from a 72-hour notice, okay? So from their standpoint, they probably thinking, okay, yeah, we knew we got it. We called this bluff. All right, they're going to do you the same way. That's what I'm saying. Understand the three-wave process. Understand how to transfer that to the court. All right, you have to understand this information, family. You have to be thinking like an attorney. All right, the same way an attorney will go and file on behalf of a client, you have to go on behalf of your principal or your trust and file litigation. All right, to basically protect the trust or protect your estate. All right, because if you don't do any type of filings, if you just sending off private documentation, family, that's not doing nothing. All right. I'm trying to tell you, I'm just here to give y'all a mental mindset, how it should be. All right, if anything outside of that, you're going to fail, okay? I'm trying to tell y'all, I've been on this journey for 5 years. I've been able to see folks come and go. I've been able to see people rise, and I've seen people fall, all right? And one of the main things is because, A lot of us make it harder for ourselves. B, because we have so much information where we've heard from everyone else that we're trying to hold on to, and it's really probably a bunch of fat, meaning cut the fat off. It's not real. That's not the meat. Okay, when I actually started cutting off everybody that I was listening to, all the information I felt like I knew, I threw it to the side and I started reading for myself. Where that reading took me is that's where I went. Okay, nothing else. And I understand reading can be tedious, but if you're reading and not applying it, of course it's going to be tedious. All right, I was reading and applying, reading, losing, reading and losing, meaning reading and experiencing, reading because a loss isn't experience. All right, when I understood that, all right, I was like, damn, I don't need more humans. I remember when I stopped following everybody on my page. I was like, yo, I'm not gonna follow no one on my page. And people thought I was doing it because I was bougie. No, because I didn't want no one else's information on my wall. I didn't want to see nothing when I got on Instagram. I just wanted to see my posts that I put on and I get off. I didn't want to see other people's information. I didn't want to see your life. A lot of people ask me, can you follow me back? I'm like, why would I follow you back? You're not talking about nothing. All right. And I think it's a big issue when y'all just follow people just because you follow them. If you're not getting nothing from the page, what are you doing? All right. So I'm here to give. I'm not here to get anything off social media. I'm more so here to give. All right. And that's why this page is going to teach you how to read, how to apply. But teach you how to stop listening to humans, get out them damn groups. All right. Because when you understand you all you have, that's more of a good thing than it is a bad thing. All right. A lot of times the journey gets lonely. But now I'm looking at it, I'm glad it's like that, because imagine you want everyone around you as you're trying to grow. It's impossible. All right. So the more aggressive you get about being lonely, all right, the more you accept of being lonely on this journey, the further you're going to get. And by the time you look up and talk to those folks that was linked with you before you locked in, man, the gap is going to be so far. Y'all not going to be able to talk about the same things. Y'all not going to be eating the same things. Y'all not thinking the same way. Every time they say something, you're going to be feeling like you're correcting them. Now they calling you a know-it-all, and you're not being a know-it-all. You just see how their vision of something is very lower than yours, and you've exceeded that. You know what I'm saying? So it can become them growing, or it can become them having resentment for you. Like, man, not understanding, like, yo, you're the one that didn't lock in, okay? You're the one that needs to listen to someone that did lock in so you can elevate the proper way. All right? Now, I didn't have no one that was locked in on this showing results for me. I didn't have no mentor or nothing like that. Like, meaning someone that got me under their wing and said, hey, yo, listen, all right? But there was some guys that literally threw me some information that really helped me along my journey. Guys like Brother Truth, guys like Umar Clark, Brother Isaiah, Patrick Devine. That's probably it. Anyone else? Yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah. Oh, another guy, dude named Frank. He told me about the Form 91, but Frank, he been tripping lately. Frank been in my DM saying, you better take your stuff down or I'm bringing you down. I don't know Frank. No, Frank been locked up, and Frank think I don't know anything. And why Frank's been locked up, I've been exceeding. So by the time Frank gets out, he think I'm still up. Frank, if you see this, if any Frank's people see this, tell him I said to tell his wife to send me my $1,000 back. Tell him to do that. All right. He gonna know what I mean by that. All right. Anyways, outside of those guys, all right, outside of those people, those is the people that, gave me something on my journey. All right. Definitely want to give credit when credit is due. All right. But besides that, no one took me under their wing. Okay. It was never under the wing. D Britain 979. No, I was way before. But yeah, so when I'm looking at this, and I'm telling people how y'all should move. You shouldn't be trying to look for people to listen to. All right. You shouldn't. Okay. You literally, after you hear something, go read it. After you read something dealing with bank, hey, call the banks up, talk to them. I know I tell people don't do that, but kind of see if what you're reading is going to match what you hear on the phone. That way you see, okay, that's not matching. They're saying something totally different from what I'm reading. That's your first red flag. You see what I'm saying? And we build from that. All right. We build from that. All right, every time. Okay, now we have our brick. Now we have that brick. Now we keep reading. Now we keep reading. The more we read, the more we download. Okay, the more, and at the same time, more that we apply at the same time. It's like you're doing two things at once. That's probably one of the reasons why I excelled so fast. All right, because I was never an information junkie. I made sure I did not turn into an information junkie. Now, what is an information junkie? Information junkie is somebody that just hoards a bunch of information. They try to go get everybody classes. Y'all be seeing them. They be on that person page. They trying to buy that class. They trying to get their free product. They're trying to get their free product. And then they say, man, I've been on this journey for 15 years, 20 years. Da, 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 da. That is an information junkie, because why are you hoarding so much information? Y'all act like all this information lines with the same thing, and it doesn't. They're different processes. And if you're doing different processes, you might not need certain documentations. All right. Now, understanding this, when you can put it all together, all right, you're going to stop being in groups. All right. You're going to stop listening to people. All right. You're going to hear them. Then you're going to take what they said and go try to find, like, meaning go read it for yourself. OK. And then from that, that's when your discipline comes in. You're going to work on it every single day. Every single day. Every single day. You're going to read some part of your contract. Every single day, you're going to read some part of the Federal Reserve Act. Something about trust law. All right. Something about equity law. Something about contract law. All right. You're just going to start engulfing yourself. If your friends don't want to do it, stop being around them, because when you become a millionaire, a competent millionaire, how are you honestly going to be friends with those people? The reason why I say those people, because they're not like us. Yes, I've been broke and uninformed before, but after I learned what was going on, anybody that watches me grow and is not at my side, all right, I don't have to worry about them failing. I can watch them drown. And I'm okay with that. All right. I know that sounds heartless, but I will watch somebody drown all the way to the last two fingers up at the water. You know, last they trying to get, and I just... You should have built a float like we all did. All right. Yeah. Because why would I keep putting my life jacket on, keep jumping in the waters of debt when I've literally done learned the waters of debt? We overstand water now. We walk on water now. All right. We ain't drowning in debt. So we don't want to be around people that don't understand the waters. All right. I know it sounds cocky, whatever you want to call it. All right. Only people that can say it sounds cocky and bad is people that's not on that level. People that's on that level say, ah, hell yeah. They go high five and chest bump. Okay. Yes. All right. Yes. All right. But it doesn't happen overnight. I went through a lot of ups and downs, a lot of losses. Remember, losses and wins is a part of the game. All right. So we can't look at losses as negative, because it's a part of the game. All right. I lost, I've won. All right. I learned way more from losing than I did from winning. Because, you know, when you win, you just say, oh, my God, I won. You don't really break down how you won. You just know, hey, damn, I won. Oh, my gosh. All right. But now, when you think about when you lose, they tell you exactly why you lost. You didn't state a claim. You didn't establish jurisdiction. You didn't establish any type of damages. Simple. Of course, I thought it was rocket science when I was a beginner, but now I'm saying, like, damn, they really telling me what I did wrong. You lost the game because y'all missed 30 free throws. You know, at the basketball game, you can look at the stat sheet. Okay, we had 15 turnovers. Damn. In the first half, finished with 30 turnovers. We missed 25 free throws. All right. We doubled them in fouling. That's why we lost. Boom, right there. So now we taking that game plan. So next game, let's work on our turnovers. Let's work on our fouls. Let's make our free throws. All right. Because we understand with the higher percentage in those three categories, we have a better chance of winning. You got to look at the same way with court. Okay. Why did I lose? Okay. They said I didn't file a claim. Okay, cool. Next time, let me enforce my claim. Let me stand on my claim even more, because I feel like I did have a claim. All right. Or next time, let me just make it more concrete. All right. Because clearly they misunderstood how I was doing it. And again, that's not their fault. That's my fault. I have to make this crystal clear. I can't just be sending documents in and expect them to make something of it. This is not horse. You can't be close. All right. You got to know what you're talking about. Everything has to line up because, again, there's interest on the line. All right. So really think about that. A court is not going to just let you throw something together and say, well, I see what you were saying. I see what you was trying to do, so I'm going to go with you. That's not how it goes, family. Because imagine if a judge did that and the opposing party heard that. They can do a motion to recuse the judge. All right. Now that puts the judge at jeopardy. You see what I'm saying? So that's why you got to understand. I got to be right. I got to understand I'm not getting no help on that court. The judge is not there to help me. All right. The opposing party is not there to help me. The clerk may help me, but I can't bank on that as well. So I got to be prepared properly. All right. Because now when I come forth with my claim for unjust enrichment and my schedule fee, all right, seeing the numbers of 9 million in damages, that shouldn't be surprising because you understand what you've built. It's only surprising to some people that don't understand, like, this is the numbers that they're playing with. And you got some people, I've never had that much money before. Who cares? All right. Who cares how much money you've had before? We're not asking you of your current mind state. We asking you in the state that you're supposed to be in. This is the numbers that these trust attorneys are dealing with. So that's what I'm going to deal with. All right. My schedule fee ain't going to be nothing less than $500K per each item. All right. Because we dealing with trust. We're not dealing with an estate. All right. We're dealing with trust. All right. Not saying the estate is cheaper. I'm not saying that. I'm just giving you an example. All right. But when you understand this, family, when you're able to build it, all right, and when you're able to present it, all right, that's when you will get your ribbon. It's almost like a science project. All right. Once you build it, you present it, the teacher grades it. All right. But if you build it and then your presentation sucks, all right, what happens? Zero. You get no results. You get no credit. All right. You have to build it. You have to present it. A lot of y'all are building it, but your presentment is terrible. All right. You have to know how to present it. All right. A lot of y'all may know how to present something, but your build is weak. All right. Meaning I don't build the whole case, but where's your evidence? Where's your exhibit A, your contract? You suing for breach of contract, but where's the contract? How can you sue for breach of contract with no contract? All right. A lot of people say, okay, cool. What if I don't have a contract? What if they denied me on my application? My friend, that was a contract. Did you not submit the application? All right. A lot of us think about it. Really think about it. All right. When you got denied, think about before all that happened. Didn't you give them an application? Didn't you hit the word submit? Right or wrong? Didn't you hit submit? My friend, that was the first contract. I know you didn't know that, but now you do. The first contract is the application. Let's break it down. All right. There's an offer and there's an accept. All right. Meaning we're offering them our application. It's called a credit sale. Did y'all know a credit sale is any point of the consumer or the creditor being the seller? Go read it. 15 USC 1602. Go see what the word. Damn, I smoke a lot of weed. I just forgot what I was talking about. Somebody give me a remind me. No, I know what I was talking about. I'm saying the word. All right, we understand. When I get signed, okay, yeah. All right, yeah. Anyway, your application. All right. Soon as you. Yes, a credit sale. Your credit sale. Your application. Soon as the creditor. That's what I messed up at. All right. When the creditor is the seller. All right. When the creditor is the seller, that is a credit sale. All right. Anytime a credit sale is any point where the creditor is the seller. Whoa. Wait a minute. How many parties is there, y'all? Ain't it two parties? You got the creditor and you have the borrower, right? Creditor and you have the borrower, right? How is the bank selling credit? Y'all really think about that. Just kind of take a few seconds to kind of think about that a little bit. All right. How does the bank sell credit? They don't. They don't. You know what they do? They borrow credit from original creditors because they are borrowers. Soon as you did an application, you came forth and invested. You were the creditor. You sold your application. Your application was worth whatever it was you applied for. Soon as you gave them that application, the financial institution took that application, turned around, went to the Federal Reserve window, and literally sold your credit application and got Federal Reserve notes on behalf of that application. They were supposed to come back to you and say, hey, we have your line of credit, boss. But that's not what happened. What they did was come back and say, all right, we got your payments. You will pay us monthly for the next 30 years. All right. And then we get the, oh my gosh, yes, I got approved. Oh my gosh, I got to call the family. I just got approved for a house. You know what I'm saying? It's like, that's the smoke and mirrors, family. That's where the matrix switches. Everything is good when you do the application. That's why they don't even ask you what your credit score is before you apply. They say, is it good or bad? And then you say, I don't know. They say, well, we'll do a soft pull. That's the credit sale. We just need you to apply. Are we going to do a soft pull? What's your social? What's your first name, last name? That's the credit sale. They just sold your credit, and that's why it hits your consumer report. Did you ever see your consumer report? You see that inquiry on there? It might be under soft pull, soft inquiries. All right. TransUnion, Equifax. And that's why we trying to tell y'all, stop listening to these credit repair people. All right. They don't know this information. Y'all are spending too much time worrying about your credit report. All right. TransUnion don't exist. Equifax don't exist. All right. These people don't really exist. That's why you can get something removed in 24 hours. Have y'all not seen this game? What y'all think these credit repair people know? All right. You see what I'm saying? Why do you think you can get something removed in 24 hours or 30 days? What's the purpose of even being on there? Meaning I need to ignore what it is even saying because that does not hold me on anything when I leverage my security interests. All right. But if I see a soft inquiry on there, that lets me know, hey, my credit has been ran. All right. Meaning my credit has been sold. All right. And if I don't receive any benefits from this sale, that is what we call unjust enrichment, meaning you use my asset to literally throw a party and you did not invite me to the party. That's exactly what's going on, family. All right. Now, again, you can make this to be rocket science. You can go try to listen to somebody else explain this. All right. Knock yourself out. There's a reason why you don't have results. All right. Go ahead and knock yourself out. Go listen to them. Go listen to them. Try to break this down. Go listen to them. They're going to tell you, no, you don't got to worry about that. You just do this instead. And go listen to them. All right. Just follow them. All right. You're going to be trying to build your credit score. All right. Credit scores does not come into play when we exercise our rights to the security interests. Of course, they're going to ask you, hey, what's your credit? Hey, is your credit good? We simply say, well, credit is not going to be a factor here because I want to go ahead and leverage the security interest that I will be given. All right. And I will be giving y'all some instructions on how to carry out this credit sale as well from a creditor standpoint, because I do understand that y'all are a financial institution, a bank, also a home loan bank, which y'all fall up under 12 USC 1431. And see that y'all position and duties is to borrow. So I'm fully aware of what's going on. I'm going to give y'all full disclosures on how to carry this credit sale out. And I think we should be able to get this done in 10 business days. I think that's fairly enough time to get this done. If you have any issues, you can write back to me, email me. All right. And yeah, boom. That's me literally starting it off. Me setting the precedents. All right. Me literally setting the foundation. All right. Now, do I know that they're going to say, oh my gosh. Okay, sir. Yes. I already know they're not going to say that. All right. But why did I just get off with everything I just said? So now I can bring it back when I file my case. I've already let them know who I was. I told them what they were supposed to do. You see what I'm saying? Now it's easy, open, closed case. We got a cold case of unjust enrichment. All right. Beautifully orchestrated. All right. Straight like that, y'all. It's not rocket science. Again, you're not going to learn this overnight. This has taken me time to be able to put it together. All right. A lot of losses, a lot of learning. All right. A lot of me thinking I was right and being wrong. You know what I'm saying? Getting back to the drawing board. Okay. Take that out. Let me not say that anymore. Let me say this because that made them kind of understand more. So I got to meet them at the same time, but I'm not here to teach them, if that makes sense. All right. I'm here to meet them, but I'm not here to teach them. All right. I'm not here to tell you how to do your fiduciary duties, because if you don't know how to do your fiduciary duties, you should not be a fiduciary. You should not be handling my securities if you don't know what a security interest is. Definitely, if you don't understand that I'm the one that's giving it to you and I should be able to benefit as well. I'm not even trying to cut the bank out. I'm just letting you know, hey, yo, cool. I'm going to cover your side, but I want to cover my side too now. I don't want to come out of pocket when y'all are literally using the credit. Come on, now we all can eat. All right, and that's the type of understanding, because that's moving in good faith. I'm not here to cut the banks out. I need the banks, all right, because I need a borrower. Because do I want to go to the Federal Reserve? No, I don't even know why a lot of y'all are trying to knock out or cut the banks out. We need the bank. The problem is we have not been utilizing the bank properly, all right? And with that being said, y'all don't never call me a bank, because that is an insult to a creditor. Don't ever call a person a bank, because a bank is somebody that borrows, and I'm not here to borrow. All right. I'm here to give. I'm here to invest. All right. Call me an investor. Don't call me no bank, because the banks are not investors. The investors is the ones that invest in the banks. All right. So you see how even the frequencies, even when you're in the neighborhood, you say, damn, man, I'm going to call you the bank. That's literally calling somebody a borrower. You see how words and spells, like, so you got to watch what you're saying. Don't ever say you a borrower, because you're not a borrower. You will be calling yourself a borrower. Now you're living a borrower life. Now you're working a 9 to 5, or you don't work a 9 to 5. You run a business and you use that money to pay the bills as well. You're no different from somebody doing a 9 to 5. People that are entrepreneurs, people that run businesses and literally use their income to pay on bills, they're no different from somebody that's doing a 9 to 5 and using that money to pay on bills. I know they think they are, because there's levels to it. Because I remember I was working, I ended up making a business. I thought I was better than them. All right, because I was telling myself, I don't work for nobody. I work for myself. But I was uninformed. You see what I'm saying? So when you're uninformed, it's either you're uninformed or you're informed. There's not like multiple levels. It's either you're informed or uninformed. Now, just because you got a little money in your pocket or a lot of money in your pocket, if you're uninformed, my friend, you are looked at as poor. The people that y'all think that has money, do y'all not understand they're poor? When we're looking at the true capacity to contract, all right? The people that you think have money, they are poor to true investors, all right? Now, we're talking about being able to manage multi-million-dollar assets, multi-million-dollar accounts, all right? Now, it's not about having the money in your account. Did y'all hear Elon Musk? Everybody knows he's a billionaire, but he says he don't got no damn $1 billion in his account. He said he could probably pull out. Now, I don't know if he's lying now. He said shit, he can't even pull out 1,000 just how his accounts are structured. And I said, you know what? I kind of believe him. Because if you got $1 billion, like, you're going to have that put up. Like, you're not even going to have it where you can just go be into a mood of spending. Okay, I want to go buy this now. You're going to have something put there, so you can't do that. You got to go through so many channels just to get your money. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's not liquid. But people that don't know that will say, man, give me some money. You're a billionaire. You see what I'm saying? That's what I'm trying to tell y'all. When you get to a certain situation, you're going to try to elevate. You're going to try to go back to them same people that you elevated from. And they're not going to see that, okay, this is big. They're going to start asking, gimme, gimme, gimme. Help me, 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 help me. All right? And I just don't feel like we're supposed to help everybody. All right? We're only supposed to help the ones that help themselves. All right? And if you can't help yourself, I don't think you deserve help. I think you deserve everything that comes to you. Depression, being lost. Maybe you got a past to, come back again and try it again. You know what I'm saying? That's how deep I am with it, family. All right. Now, I know a lot of y'all probably don't see things that way, but there's a lot of people that's going to have to die and come back and try again. All right. Because they're too deep into their process. All right. To the way they live life. All right. They hear this information. They literally tell them, it sounds good, but until I see proof, I ain't doing nothing. But they'll sit in this live the whole time. You see what I'm saying? This ain't no TV, y'all. This ain't Netflix. All right. Of course, I want you to be entertained from the information. All right. This ain't something where you bing watching. All right. Let me keep up with the next episode. Like, no, this is financial literacy, family. Do y'all not understand that? This is financial literacy. This is what not no ha ha he he. We were just ha ha and he he as we were doing it. All right. But a lot of y'all had literally did too much ha ha and he he and not enough enforcing. All right. Not enough. OK, let me apply this. Let me get these results so I can really ha ha he he. All right. Some people say something not coming back. Trust me, they coming back right here, family. All right. Everybody that I know that that failed their grade had to redo it. All right. Trust me, they're coming back. Anybody that's saying I ain't coming back, trust me, they don't even understand that they don't even have the power to dictate right now on this dimension that they're on to say that they're not coming back. All right. You don't have that choice. All right. You will come back until you figure out what it is that you need to figure out. I don't know what it is for you or them. Everybody has their own different challenges that they need to master. All right. Again, I'm still trying to make sure I'm mastering all mine. I know I'm not going to master them all in this lifetime, but let me go ahead and build myself for the next lifetime so I can pick up where I left off. All right. Because it's almost impossible to try to live a perfect life. All right. Of course, you want to live in good faith, but trying to do everything perfect. I'm not here to do everything perfect. All right, for sure. I remember having somebody that was like 16 years old in the 7th grade. All right, I thought it was normal. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was a lot of folks failing. All right, if I talk out of high school, I'm like, okay, that ain't normal. You're supposed to be 16 in the 10th grade. All right, so yeah, now I honestly believe a lot of folks, even that's on this live right now, some of y'all are going to have to pass and come back and try to figure it out. Some of y'all have already done that. All right. That's why you're quicker at doing certain things than other people, because you've been there before. All right. But you keep failing at the same thing that's been holding you back on all lifetimes. And once I understood, I ain't trying to go too deep. Once I understood that there are multiple dimensions and multiple pockets operating at the same time, that's when I had started thinking like, damn, I really got to watch my words. Because if I say, man, I'm broke, I'm literally telling that simultaneously to all the versions of me on the different frequencies, on the dimensions, all the different versions of me in the different pockets. All right. It's a simultaneous thing that's going on. So if I say I'm broke, it's literally rippling out to all other realms that I'm present in. All right. So I might be wealthy as hell in another timeline, another realm. And then I get that frequency of broke and I might just start doing broke shit. I honestly believe that, all right, because we see people that are in great positions just collapse. And it's always like, yo, you had it all. My goodness, what happened? And it's like they couldn't manage it because probably on another, I know this might be deep, all right, but on another realm, they're probably putting themselves, man, I ain't shit, man, I ain't nothing, man, I ain't never gonna be nothing. And you don't even understand how you probably affecting yourselves on other realms. All right. So I just wanted to say that, y'all, I'm going to put this live up. All right. Make sure y'all reading y'all contracts, family. A lot of this information as far as the contract talking, it's in your contract. When you see the words like security interest. All right. When you see the words like you gave us a security interest, they're literally telling you that you gave them something. So that's letting you know that this was a credit sale because the creditor was the seller. You were the creditor that sold your credit over to a borrower that was supposed to take it to the Federal Reserve, come back with your interest. And they do pay your interest. A bank pays your interest every single first of the month. Your bill comes in every single first of the month. Family, that is an interest dividend. All right. You're supposed to be utilizing that and transferring it back into the account, no matter if it's an estate, no matter if it's a trust. All right. That's what you're supposed to be doing with all bills, business bills, personal bills. All right. You're not supposed to be coming out of pocket. All right. The only one that I know that's doing this like on a high level is a guy that a lot of y'all do not like. All right. But she's literally showing us the business frame of how this stuff's supposed to look, how to beat cases, how to, all right, literally set off a $360 million loan from the bank, Donald Trump. All right. And again, I don't vote. All right. I'm not Republican or Democrat. I would never be a goddamn Democrat, though. Oh, my gosh. All right. No offense. All right. But yeah, Trump literally, you can look up his UCC. All right. He's able. That's why those charges go away. Y'all think they just go away. No, my friend, he performs his contractual obligations. That's how he understands how to move. While you're over there, why is he locked up? Because he does his contractual obligation, family. He knows how to perform. All right, that's why he's not locked up. While you sitting there holding your nuts, hoping he get locked up. All right, he's literally moving and grooving, using UCCs and claiming security interests. All right, literally, okay, like literally. All right, and that's why no Trump slander is tolerated. Okay, all right, none at all. All right, make America great again, goddammit. All right. Anyway, shout out to Trump. All right, but yeah. When you understand this, family, when you take your emotions out the way and you're able to learn from people that you might even hate, that's when you become great. I don't know how that rhymed, all right, but it did, okay? That's how you become great, learning from those that you hate. Hoo-hoo! There's a lot of people that hate me, y'all, and a lot of people that's learning from me at the same time, okay? But you have to understand how to pull, meaning if I'm playing ball and I just can't beat this team or beat this one-on-one guy, like, damn, I'm mad, you know what I'm saying? But damn, let me take something out of this game. Like, what is he doing? How does he get to his spot so quick? All right, okay, boom. All right, damn, I see it now. Now I'm taking it and putting it into my game. You got to steal game, family. All right, and I don't want to say steal game. You have to adopt game. You have to literally, okay, cool. I like that. Let me add it to mine. Hey, I like to add to mine. That's not hating. That's not stealing. That's not, all right. That's saying, okay, I see what worked. Let me add into mine. I've been losing. Let me add some winning strategies to my approach. All right. That's how you got to look at it. All right. But that's literally what you're supposed to be doing, family. All right. In a nutshell. All right. Of course, you're not going to learn this in one day. You're not going to learn this in a week. You're not going to learn this in a month. Hell, some of y'all might not even really grasp this year, you know. Now, again, hopefully I'm wrong. I love being wrong, all right? But I can honestly say if you really lock in, family, definitely with my page, all right? Definitely lock in with my page. You literally start from the top, work your way to the bottom. Tap in with my We the People subscription that we meet every Sunday, family. Every Sunday we meet, unless we reschedule, all right? It's $88 a month, all right? You're literally learning about trust law, contract law. You're learning about interest. You're learning about, hell, we even had class about AI, how to jailbreak your AI, okay? Literally, we learn about dynasty trust, okay? Yes, all right? Learn about dimensions. We get to talk about a lot of things that we can't talk about right here, family. All right, so I would definitely say tap in with that. All right, you receive 4 classes a month. All right, you get the recording. All right, you also receive subscription member discounts. All right, on future classes. All right, so yeah, we have all that for y'all, families. We've been here. All right, I am retired in October. As far as like this, like getting on like lives and things like that, I'll still be, you know, having my businesses as far as my nonprofits, my ministries, my music label. All right, all that is going to be, you know, still rolling. My face just not going to be on, you know, because you got to understand when somebody see your face on, they be like, oh, no, that's the guy that, oh, that's the guy that said he's a guy. Nah, I don't want to follow him. You know what I'm saying? So I kind of want to, you know, just be in the back scenes, you know, go into the shadows. But with that being said, y'all can tap in. All right, there still will be a group for y'all to tap in with, a private group. All right, because we about to do some amazing things. We about to do some major things, family, on next level that we not going to really can't talk about on here. All right, but we operating next level. So tap in. All right. Before I go, we are doing trust for all the fathers. All right, all the fathers. All right, I know some of y'all have already sent y'all payments. All right, I've sent y'all questionnaire. If you have not received your questionnaire, you will receive it. So the process is basically y'all sent y'all payment. I sent you a questionnaire. Answer those 7 questions I sent you. Send it to me so I can start working on your trust. All right. We're also going to need for you to apply for EIN so you can have a trust with your EIN. So now you can go get a bank account. All right. So we are doing trust for $500 for all fathers. All right, ladies. If you have the father of your kid, if you know he's probably not in the best situation, all right, get him a trust. All right. Let's say you have a father, your dad. Your dad was an amazing man. He raised you right. All right, get him a trust. Okay, get him a trust. Build them a trust. We're going to build them an irrevocable trust. We're going to add a dynasty clause to it. Again, we're making it irrevocable because we're making it permanent. So now every time he puts in any type of assets, it can't go into probate. Now, again, they'll try to go into probate, but that's where we come out. That's where we litigate. That's where we come in and say, hey, wait a minute. This is the irrevocable trust. We'll send you the trust declaration showing you that this is irrevocable. It should not be in probate at all. All right, because we've already set off, we already discharged the bill or the amount or the obligation. All right, so we're going to add a dynasty clause inside of that living trust. Now, why are we adding a dynasty clause inside of the living trust for the fathers? All right, because after the fathers pass or transition, all right, that trust would literally still be around for 21 years. That's what the dynasty clause does for a living trust. Now, if we have a dynasty trust, we don't need to have a dynasty clause. Dynasty clauses for trusts that aren't dynasty trusts. All right. Now, again, no one taught me about dynasty trust. All right. Not a human being can ever say I'm the one that told Mance about dynasty trust. How did I learn about dynasty trust? All right. It's a secret. All right. Some of y'all know, some of y'all don't. I know somebody will try to comment and say, I know it's that. All right. But yeah, like it wasn't a human. All right. It wasn't human at all. It was really me trying to see how high this goes, meaning how does the ultra wealthy operate? How does the ultra wealthy of the 1% of the 1% operate? And, you know, from those questions, I literally started learning about dynasty trust, learn about empires, learn about imperiums. You see what I'm saying? These are like vocabularies that I didn't hear no human ever said this. So when I was reading, I was having issues reading the words because I never heard humans say this stuff. I said imperium. In person, I'm saying the words wrong, but now saying it over and over, learning what it is, now it's in my DNA, now it's in my downloads, you know, now I can process it, now I can build it, now I can present it. You see what I'm saying? Like you got, it's really in that order. You really got to be, what's the word? Like a maniac, family. Sometimes, like a lot of people say, I think he's crazy. I'm like, yo, you got to be a little crazy, y'all. You got to be... You know, you got to. I know I am. All right. So I'm not even trying to find people that's like myself. Because I had to tell myself, hey, man, you know, all right. I had to accept it. But that's what make it what I am. All right. That's what makes me who I am. All right. And again, I'm telling y'all because you can't think like your friends. You can't think like how your mom thought. You can't think like how your dad, your grandma, you know what I'm saying? You have to be that one. Yeah, you got to be crazy a little bit. All right. You got to be that one. You can't be normal. All right. You know how many times corporations told me, hey, this isn't traditional finances. I said, I'm not here to be traditional. All right. This is non-traditional. This is a private security interest. All right. I'm here to leverage. You see what I'm saying? Like, but understanding that. All right. Understanding that there's levels to it and wanting to know the next level is going to instantly start dragging you higher. All right. Me asking them, because after I built my dynasty trust, okay, I had my living trust. After I built my living trust, I had my dynasty trust. After I built my dynasty trust, I built my empire. All right. But I didn't stop there. All right. I'm literally asking like, damn, what's higher than an empire? You got Moorish Empire. You got the British Empire. You have the Roman Empire. Well, what's above that? Listen, what's above that? An imperium. An imperium. All right. For y'all that don't know what that is, go Google it. Google might tell you what that is. All right. It might tell you what it is. All right. I'm not here to tell y'all everything, but you know, it you know, that's the level. It's levels to it, family. So you got some people that don't even have a trust yet. You got some people that don't have a dynasty trust. All right. Let alone knowing what an empire is. And I know a lot of people say, I want my own empire. Yeah, it sounds good until you gotta be the architect, till you gotta build every single piece out, every scroll, every blueprint. Now you gotta think about your kids. Now you gotta have curriculums for your kids when they get to a certain age. Now, you see what I'm saying? Like, it's not just, oh, I want an empire. This ain't like some new shoes. You know what I'm saying? Like with more responsibility, well, with the higher reward, the higher the responsibility. Meaning the higher you go, it's more responsibility. Okay? I'm gonna be honest, if I sit down and really think about everything I've built so far, man, I'll probably crash out. I try not to sit and think, because when I sit and think, I remember one time I did that, I almost got overwhelmed. I was like, oh my God, what am I doing? I gotta do this, I gotta do this. And I remember telling myself, don't never do that again. Don't never sit and think about everything that you have going. Because when you just move, just keep going. Yeah, you'll miss something. Just pick it up as you just keep going. All right. Do not stop and turn around, because when you do that, you're going to be like, oh my gosh, let me fix this. Let me go and fix this. Man. And you get overwhelmed. Just keep going. All right. Keep going. With that being said, y'all, for those that want to trust, tap in with me, inbox. All right. #father. All right, we can go ahead and get that living trust built. All right, y'all, peace and love. We'll go live tomorrow as well. We're going to try to do this every day. All right, we're going to try to do this every day. We're going to treat this like streaming. All right, I'm going to go live tomorrow at 9. We're going to talk about something else. All right, but make sure y'all tap in with that We the People subscription so you can get into our weekly classes every Sunday. All right, with that being said, y'all, peace, peace, peace. See y'all next time.